Hey there, it's Sheila from Boxing Rock Brewing Company in Shelburne. And I am here in our very exciting barrel aging facility right off the main street in Shelburne. We have a beautiful facility here, tap room and retail store, as well as a place where we can store our beautiful barrels and age our delicious beer. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the barrel aging experience, the beers that we make that we put in barrels, and why barrel aging is so important. So first off, there's a lot of history to do with barrel aging. Brewers started off actually having to put their beers in barrels to get them to the pubs in everywhere really, but in England certainly, and right here in Nova Scotia. And they actually wanted to try and remove the wood flavor from the beer. And so would do things like line the barrels with pine pitch and ensure that the barrel was completely neutralized before they put the beer into it. But nowadays, it's kind of the opposite. Brewers use barrels to try really hard to get that beautiful wood flavor into their beers, to add complexity to the beers, to add all kinds of intense flavors from the wood, depending on what type of wood they use or what type of wood the barrel is made of. So it's kind of an exciting way and certainly a great way for brewers to be incredibly creative with brewing beer. So barrels can come from any type of facility. They're typically oak barrels that are used for barrel aging beer. But they can come from anywhere from wineries that would make Chardonnay and put Chardonnay in barrels to port houses to bourbon, whiskey, rum. So here at our barrel aging facility, we have a little bit of everything. We've got some Glenora whiskey barrels here in the back from Cape Breton. We've got some Chardonnay barrels. We have some rum barrels from Ironworks in Lunenburg, our friends there at Ironworks. So we can use a variety of different barrels and be really creative with the styles of beer that we put in our barrels. And certainly all the barrels do a little bit of different things for the beer. So I'm going to talk through our barrels. I guess the most important thing with barrel aging is that it does require creativity, but it also requires a lot of time and patience. Typically a beer is in a barrel for 6, 8, 12, 15, 16, 18, 24 months. So it requires time, and it requires a lot of kind of tasting and figuring out what is the barrel doing to the beer and when is the beer perfect. When is it time to actually take it out of the barrel and put it in bottles. So that's part of it. Another kind of part of the magic is barrel aged blending. So that's when either fresh beer is added with already barrel aged beer, or even more exciting, when one style is put into like 3 different types of barrels. So a stout is put into a Chardonnay barrel and a rum barrel and a whiskey barrel. And then they're all blended together. So they add all kinds of really interesting flavors. Because what happens with barrel aging is not only does it add a complexity and a richness to the beer, it smooths the beer, it softens the beer, it certainly intensifies a lot of the flavors. It increases obviously the alcohol as it ages. And it allows the beer to really kind of grow and age and certainly take on the flavors of the wood from the barrel. So if it's an oak barrel, a lot of those oak flavors are going to come through in the barrel aged beer. And then of course the other flavors that come through are what was in the barrel before. So if it's rum, you're going to get lots of rum flavor in your beer. If it was Chardonnay, you're going to get some dry Chardonnay type flavors as well. So that's part of the excitement, is what was in the barrel before, the oak, the wood flavors, and then what type of beer it is. What type of beer to put in barrels? I mean, really, you can put any type of beer in a barrel. Whether or not you should, that's another discussion for another day. But I think things like, higher alcohol, stronger beers already are going to be really, really nice in the barrel. So things like stout, dark beers go really, really well. We've had some fun putting sour beer in the barrel to see what happens, and it's done perfectly well, really beautiful. So just to take you through a little bit of our beers, we have a couple of styles we brewed in the past. Our Triple, which is a barrel-aged 12 months in the whiskey barrel. And this is really a nice, classic Belgian style Triple. The greatest thing is that it continues to bottle condition as well. And it offers all kinds of characteristics like caramel and honey, some sweetness. But then it finishes with a really nice spicy kind of peppery balance for it as well. There's some fruit in there as well, some strong kind of dried fruit characteristics. It's a beautiful, nice caramel color. The other one that we put in barrels 2 years ago, in Chardonnay barrels 2 years ago, after 12 months, was our Brett Saison, our barley wine. So this is a high alcohol sipping beer, and really, really nice, rich, complex, sweet malt flavors, lots of caramel and toffee as well. Doesn't have that spiciness, it's more of a dessert beer or sipping beer, great for around the fire. So those are a couple that we've put out in the past. Most recently we also have these four. These are fun bottles with champagne corks in them, so they take a bit of time to get those corks out, but they're worth it. And we have our sour cranberry wheat ale. So this is basically our over the top. So if you've had over the top cranberry sour, it is a very tart, dry cranberry beer. Lots of really nice fresh Nova Scotia cranberries in it, lots of nice sourness, nice notes to it. But in the barrel, in a Chardonnay barrel, it's really taken on some of those nice oak characteristics, taken on some of almost like an apple characteristic as well, and it's smoothed and evened the sourness out. So it's much less sour, just slightly tart. It's perfect with things like, a fresh kale salad with like roasted summer squash and some feta. Really nice with a cheesecake at the end of the meal. This is all a very, very easy barrel-aged beer in terms of getting into the barrel-aged. It doesn't have as rich flavors necessarily as some of the other ones, like the Triple or the Barley Wine. But it's also quite fun, it offers like a nice sparkling effervescent tartness to it as well. So another one we've made here is our Bière de Garde. So this is a strong French-style beer. Really quite nice in terms of the maltiness, the sweetness, the caramel toffee again. But it also offers a bit of spiciness at the end. This one's great with like sticky toffee pudding, a honey ham. I've used this actually to glaze ham before. It's really a lovely sipping beer as well. So you can sip and enjoy. It is whiskey barrels aged, so it takes on a lot of those whiskey characteristics, lots of whiskey notes to it as well. So if you're a big fan of whiskey, you'll love this Bière de Garde. Our third one is our Brett Saison. So we made with Brettanomyces yeast a Saison beer. So this is going to be very earthy, very wild tasting, really, hay, straw, those kind of characteristics, a little bit of grass as well. Really nice spicy finish. It's aged in Chardonnay barrels, so it has taken on a ton of the oak characteristics. You're going to get lots of oak, almost some nuttiness as well, so a little bit of walnut. This is a fantastic beer with food. It's really fun with cheeses, like strong cheeses, really fun with appetizers, like cured meat, things like that. It offers a lot of opportunity for contrasting with appetizers. And then our last one is our gourmet dessert beer, I call it. It's our Russian Imperial Stout. So anybody that likes our U889 will certainly love this. This was put into Ironworks rum barrels. So not only does it have this really intense, rich imperial stout flavors like vanilla and dark chocolate, it also has this beautiful rum characteristics now. And from that, there's things like vanilla you're going to taste very strong, espresso or coffee. So this one's a beautiful dessert beer, pairs really nicely with rich meats, but also really nice, rich, strong chocolate coffee desserts, things like that. Again, this is a perfect sippy beer as well. Just to note, kind of some glasses when you're wanting to pour a beer, a barrel-aged beer. It's really nice to use a glass that offers a bit of a goblet or a chalice. It allows you to warm the beer with your hands, and it also allows you to really centralize those aromas that come up, because it is not only are barrel-aged beers intense in flavor, they're also typically very intense in aroma. So you're going to get a lot of aroma using this type of glass. Also makes you feel kind of fancy. Not that all barrel-aged beers have to be fancy. I think, that's the funness of it, is that, we have really complex, rich beers like the Russian Imperial Stout, or even the Bière de Garde and the Triple, and Barley Wine, but we also have fun, approachable barrel-aged beers that are a good way to get started in the world of barrel aging and really kind of understand the sensory part of what you're experiencing when you try barrel-aged beer. So that's all I have to say about barrel aging today. Certainly, we'd love for you to come visit us at some point to see our barrel aged facility, check it all out. You can also buy our barrel aged in a 4-pack to try them. It's a great tasting experience online right now and delivered to the comfort of your very own home. So thanks for taking the time to watch our barrel aged video, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care.